It was the 1970s in suburban Chicago, where life seemed calm and ordinary. Families trusted each other, children played freely, and neighbors felt safe. Among them lived a man who looked completely normal. His name was John Wayne Gacy. No one had any idea what was hiding behind his friendly face. Gacy was respected in his community and ran a successful construction business. He was involved in local politics and known for being helpful. But what made him even more trusted was his clown persona. He performed at children's parties as Pogo the Clown. People saw him as kind, funny, and harmless. But behind that painted smile was something deeply disturbing. His past was troubled, filled with personal struggles and hidden desires. Over time, those dark thoughts began to grow stronger. No one could see what was really happening inside him, and that's what made him so dangerous. In the early 1970s, young boys in the Chicago area started disappearing. At first, the cases seemed unrelated and random. Different ages, different backgrounds, different locations. But slowly, a pattern began to form. And that pattern pointed toward one man. Gacy had a method to gain trust quickly. He would offer young men jobs through his company. Sometimes he promised money. Sometimes he used charm. Once they entered his home, everything changed. What seemed like an opportunity became a nightmare. He used tricks like handcuff games to control his victims. At first, it looked like a joke or a harmless act. But once they were restrained, they couldn't escape. What followed was brutal and horrifying. His victims had no chance to survive. What makes this case even more disturbing is what he did after the murders. Instead of disposing of the bodies, he hid them inside his home. Beneath the house, there was a crawl space. That space became a secret graveyard, a place no one could see, but where everything was hidden. For years, Gacy lived a normal life above those bodies. He slept, ate, and welcomed guests into his home. Meanwhile, the truth remained buried just below. Sometimes neighbors complained about a strange smell, but Gacy always had an excuse ready. People believed him because he seemed trustworthy. No one imagined the horror beneath their feet. But in 1978, everything began to fall apart. A 15-year-old boy named Robert Pius went missing. His disappearance would change everything. Robert was last seen going to meet a contractor for a job. That contractor was John Wayne Gacy. This time, police took the case seriously. Witnesses confirmed Gacy was the last person to see him. Suspicion quickly started to grow. When police visited Gacy's house, something felt wrong. There was a strange smell in the air. Officers noticed things that didn't seem normal, but at first, they didn't have enough evidence. Gacy was still free. Investigators started digging into his past. They discovered his previous criminal record. Years earlier, he had been convicted of a serious offense. Yet somehow, he had rebuilt his life and gained the trust of everyone again. As pressure increased, police got a search warrant. They began searching his house carefully. Inside, they found items that didn't belong to him. Clothes, personal belongings, and suspicious objects. Each discovery raised more questions. Then came the moment that shocked the entire nation. Police looked into the crawl space beneath his house. What they found was horrifying. Human remains were buried there. Not just one, but many. The truth finally came out. Gacy had been killing young men for years. The crawl space was filled with bodies. It was one of the worst serial murder discoveries in U.S. history. The entire country was in shock. When Gacy was arrested, he first denied everything. But as evidence increased, his story began to change. Eventually, he confessed to multiple murders. His lack of emotion disturbed everyone. It was clear he felt no real guilt. The trial began in 1980 and quickly gained massive attention. The defense tried to claim he was mentally unstable. They argued multiple personalities were responsible, but the evidence against him was overwhelming. There was no escape. Witnesses testified, evidence was presented, and the truth became undeniable. The jury didn't take long to decide. John Wayne Gacy was found guilty of 33 murders. The verdict shocked the world. He was sentenced to death for his crimes. The image of the friendly clown was completely destroyed. In its place was a cold and terrifying reality. A man who had fooled everyone for years. A monster hiding in plain sight. Gacy spent many years on death row. He continued to deny full responsibility, but the outcome never changed. In 1994, His execution was carried out. His story officially came to an end, but the fear he created never truly disappeared. His case changed how people saw safety. It proved that danger doesn't always look dangerous. Sometimes it looks friendly, even entertaining. The story of John Wayne Gacy is more than just a crime case. It is a reminder of how easily trust can be broken, and how evil can hide behind a smile. Because sometimes the scariest monsters don't look like monsters at all.